It's late. You're lying in bed, and you are absolutely destroying someone in an argument. The comeback is perfect, devastating. They've got nothing to say back. There's just one problem. The argument never happened. The person isn't there. And you're going to do it again tomorrow, in the shower, on the drive to work, waiting for your coffee. You live a second, secret life inside your own head, and you've never really told anyone how much time you spend there. Today you're going to find out what that actually says about you. Because the people with the loudest inner worlds all share the same handful of traits, and the reason your brain does this is not what you think. Stick around, because the last one is the line between a healthy imagination and something you should actually watch out for. First, the thing nobody tells you. If you run elaborate scenes in your head, full conversations, imaginary futures, entire arguments with people who will never hear them, you're not crazy and you're not wasting your life. Studies on mind wandering suggest we spend nearly half our waking hours not focused on the present at all. Half. Your brain defaults to simulation the second it isn't busy, so the question was never whether you make up scenarios. Everyone does. The question is what yours are about. Because the scene your brain keeps rendering, unprompted, when you're alone, is one of the most honest things about you. Here are the ones almost everyone runs, and what each one is really telling you. Number 1. The argument you win. Someone wronged you, maybe today, maybe 10 years ago, and now, in your head, you are calmly, brutally explaining exactly why they were wrong, and they just stand there taking it. That's not pettiness. It's your brain rehearsing a confrontation it never got to finish. Unresolved conflict leaves a loop open, and your mind runs it over and over trying to close it. And the tell is who you're arguing with. It's almost never a stranger. It's the people whose opinion of you still has power. You don't rehearse fights with people you don't care about. So that imaginary argument is a map of exactly where you still feel unseen. Number 2. The conversation that hasn't happened yet. You're about to quit, or confess something, or set a boundary you've avoided for months, and you've run the whole thing 40 times, playing both parts. This one is pure preparation. Your brain treats an important future conversation like a threat and wants to wargame it before you walk in. But here's the catch. Past a certain point, rehearsing stops helping and starts feeding the fear, because you're not preparing anymore. You're just confirming it's dangerous. If you've run it more than a few times, the scenario stopped being practice. It became the thing you're doing instead of having the conversation. Number 3. The highlight reel, the dream house. The moment you finally make it and everyone sees, the perfect version of the life you're building, rendered in high definition while you do the dishes. This is your brain dangling a carrot. Imagining a reward lights up a lot of the same circuitry as actually getting it, which is why it feels so good. In small doses, that's fuel. But there's a trap hiding in this one, and it's a big one, so hold on to it because it comes back at the end. Number 4. The do-over. You take a real memory, a moment you're not proud of, and you run it again. Except this time you say the right thing. You don't freeze. Your brain is doing repair work, taking an experience that got filed as a failure and rewriting the ending so it stings less. This is one of the useful ones. It's how people quietly process regret. But if you're redoing the same 3 seconds from a decade ago on a loop, that's not processing anymore. That's your brain refusing to shut a door it should have closed years ago. Number 5. And this is the one people are most ashamed of. The scene where they finally understand you. The speech at your funeral where everyone realizes what they lost. Succeeding so hard the people who doubted you have to sit with it. Someone, anyone, finally saying the thing you've waited your whole life to hear. Here's the truth about this one, and it's tender, so I'll say it plainly. That fantasy isn't ego. It's a need that didn't get met. We imagine being seen in exactly the ways we weren't. The specific shape of your vindication fantasy is a photograph of the recognition you're actually starving for, which means you can read it backwards, and it'll tell you what to go find in real life. Number 6. The dark one. Your brain, uninvited, plays you the car crash. The diagnosis. The moment you lose the person you love most, and you snap out of it feeling sick and a little guilty. You're not morbid. This is threat simulation. Your brain runs the catastrophe to pre-feel the grief and check whether you'd survive it, the same reason it makes you look over the edge of a tall building. It's not a wish, it's a fire drill for your heart. And the people who get these the most are the ones with the most to lose. Number 7. The hero moment. The building catches fire. A car flips on the road in front of you. Someone breaks into the house at 3 a.m. And in your head, you are calm, fast, and exactly the person everyone needed. You pull the kid out of the water. You know the move. You say the perfect thing to the cop, to the doctor, to the room. You don't freeze, not in a single version. This one is about control. When real life leaves you feeling powerless, or small, or unprepared for the thing you're most afraid of, your brain rehearses the crisis where you finally get to be capable. It's practicing a competence you're quietly scared you don't actually have. And the giveaway is the pattern. The more out of control your real life feels, the more vivid and detailed the rescue fantasy gets. The daydream is loudest exactly when you feel the most helpless. It isn't delusion. It's your brain building the person it hopes you'll become when it counts. Number 8. And this is the one to actually pay attention to. Some people don't just run scenes. They build an entire parallel life. A whole world. Characters. Storylines that continue for months. A version of themselves that feels more real and more comforting than the life they're actually in. There's a name for it now. Maladaptive daydreaming. And the line is this: imagination is healthy when it serves your real life. It becomes a problem when it replaces it. When you're pacing the room for hours, losing whole afternoons, choosing the world in your head over the people in your house, the daydream stopped being a tool and became a place to hide. And usually it's hiding you from something the real world made too painful to sit in. So why does your brain do all this? There's a network in there called the default mode network, and it switches on the moment you stop concentrating. The shower, the commute, the second before sleep. That's not your brain going idle. That's your brain going to work on you. It's why the scenarios always ambush you in the same places: the shower, the long drive, the ceiling at 2 a.m. The moment your hands are busy but your mind is free, the simulator boots up. And it runs on real chemistry. Imagining the win, or the comeback, or the reunion releases a small hit of the same reward you'd get from the real thing, just enough to keep you coming back. It pulls up the open loops, the unmet needs, the fears, and it runs simulations because the entire point of an imagination is to let you rehearse a life without having to survive the real version first. Your inner world isn't a distraction from reality, it's the rehearsal room for it. Which brings us back to that trap. The danger was never that you imagine too much. It's that imagining a thing gives you a small taste of having it, with none of the work. Win the argument in your head, and you bleed off the anger you needed to actually set the boundary. Live the dream life in your head, and you get just enough of the reward to stop chasing the real one. The fantasy quietly becomes a replacement for the life instead of a rehearsal for it. So here's what to do. Don't try to shut it off, you can't. And it isn't the enemy. Read it instead. Whatever scene your brain keeps running is a message. The argument shows you where you feel wronged. The conversation shows what you're avoiding. The vindication shows what you're starving to hear. And then you do the one thing the daydream can't do for you. You take the smallest possible piece of it and make it real. Have the actual conversation. Say the actual boundary. The inner world is supposed to be the sketch, not the painting. Because here's the thing about living in your head. It doesn't mean you're checked out of your life. It usually means you feel things too big to leave unrehearsed. The people with the richest inner worlds are almost never the shallow ones. They're the ones who care so much about how a moment could go that they have to live it twice. So the goal was never to stop imagining. It's to stop letting the rehearsal be the whole show. Your brain built you an entire world to practice in. It was always hoping you'd take what you learned there and go actually live. And if a few of these hit a little too close, if you recognized your own 2 a.m. arguments in this, you'll feel right at home here. I explain the quiet stuff running underneath everyday life. Subscribe and stick around.